What's up guys, OpTic Ashes here, bringing you another episode of our weekly series, hashtag Ask Ashes. Today is Monday, so you know that means another video is dropping today. I've got a lot of questions from you guys from yesterday. I've got some questions from last week's video in the comments section, so I'm going to go ahead and get into these and get these answered for you ASAP. Alright, so the first 6 questions are going to be anonymous questions, and then the other 7 questions are going to be from people who tweeted at me, and then I got a few from the YouTube comments in last week's video. Question number 1, who's your favorite player on the Call of Duty roster? Probably gonna have to go with Scumpy. He's hilarious. I don't know, man. I really like all of them. Scumpy's hilarious, so he's probably one of my favorites, but to be honest, I like all of them, man. Like, Crimsix has that kind of iron focus and, you know, the robot or whatever, so he's awesome. Formal kind of like a stone cold killer. He reminds me of Mental almost. So, you know, like, all of them have their cool traits. Karma's just a pretty laid back guy and consistent and does his job, so I like all the players on the Call of Duty roster, but Scumpy seems to be the funniest one, at least to me. Question number 2, please explain the special guns like the boom shot and the sniper. So basically there's a bunch of weapons in the game that are called power weapons, and they are weapons that you don't start with that you can then place on the map or find on the map depending on what game mode you're playing, and pick up, and they have different things. So there's weapons like the sniper rifle, which is just a classic sniper rifle. The boom shot is basically a rocket launcher. There's a weapon called the M-bar, which is like a sniper rifle, but you have to charge up each bullet and then time like the release of it. There's a torque bow, which is like a bow and arrow, but the arrows have grenades on the tips, so when you stick somebody or something, it blows up. There's a bolt-tock pistol, which is like a Colt 45, is like a really powerful handgun. There's a hammer burst, which is a 3-burst rifle. There's the Marza, which is like, I don't know how to explain that one. It's single shot, single bullet rifle. There's a lot of guns, obviously in the game, and so all of them are considered power weapons, and you kind of place them in escalation and competitive. You place them on the map strategically, either at a point that you're constantly winning, so that you can keep winning that spot, and then have that power weapon to use for your advantage, or to help distract the team from a location that you don't want them paying attention to. Question number 3, when did you realize you wanted to go pro, and how did your friends or family feel about it? Well, it was always kind of my goal to go pro, and I never really expected it to be as a coach. But when coaching kind of took off for me and started being successful, and when these guys started doing really well, I knew this was something that I could do professionally and possibly, you know, force a career path into. So, you know, my true friends were always supportive of my goals in esports, and it's been my goals forever to be working in esports as like my job, as my career. My family was hesitant about it when I was younger, but now support it. So it's really cool. It's not something that they know too much about, but they're interested in it and they're supportive of it. So it's pretty awesome. Question number 4, what esports coaches do you base your ethic off of or use for inspirations? I've talked about this a little bit on stream, and the main coaches that I kind of inspire my methods off of are, I like Coma, who is the League of Legends coach for SK Telecom. I like Mind Games Weldon, who is a psychological coach / the League of Legends coach for Team Sola Min. Last Shadow, or Nick, he's a League of Legends coach. He used to work for a team called he used to work for an NA pro team. I can't remember their name, Galaxy or something like that. No, not Galaxy. But now he does a lot of solo coaching and videos on YouTube and streams and stuff like that, and he's brilliant. And then the other coaches are just like coaches that I've worked with personally who had like little techniques or traits that I picked up on that I really appreciated. Question number 5, if you could coach in any other esport, what would it be and why? Probably League of Legends, just because that is my second favorite game. I've spent the most amount of time on that game. I feel like I could pick it up as a coach and get back into it again. So I'd probably do that. Though, you know, I would like to work with the Call of Duty teams and Halo teams and you know, just the other teams in OpTic, and maybe try to help them with techniques that I use for my guys. Question number 6, how do you help the team where there is an important match or a huge match about to be played? Do you tell them to relax or focus up? What do you do? So when we're playing like that huge pressure building match, I try to keep them focused on what our goal is. And that's basically to take the game one round at a time, to play how we know we can play, and to win. You know, minimize our mistakes and be flexible and adaptive to the other team. That way, if they try to do something to catch us off guard, we can just fall back and rely on our natural chemistry and ability to kind of take over and win that round for us. So it seems to be pretty effective, especially with these guys. I don't think that would work with every single team. It's just because of the natural chemistry that is in my team. We can play like that, and we can kind of rely on that. I do try to keep them really prepared so that they're even more confident going into the match, so that they know what to expect, kind of. But you know, those are the kind of things. If we start to lose, then it's a whole nother ball game. It's a matter of keeping them focused on the next round, about forgetting what just happened, about telling them the bullet points of like what went wrong, rather than them starting a discussion and a potential argument. Because if I can condense that, if I can just say, look, here's what you messed up on, fix it for this next round, here's how, kind of thing, then there's a better chance of us actually fixing it, and less of a chance of them starting an argument or, you know, being tilted or whatever you want to call it. Question number 7 comes from @Matt_Toasty, who asks, would you be interested in making a video explaining the basics of competitive GAL, game type, team roles, and such? Yes, I would. I actually did make a video on the basics of escalation, so you know what you're watching when you're watching a game of escalation. And I will put an annotation for that video right here. So make sure to go check that out. And I'm doing basics of Gears of War videos also on my YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe and go through some of my other videos, because they will be uploaded at least once or twice a week, some GAL tips, GAL basics videos. Number 8 comes from @Variant, who asks, have you played Infinite Warfare? If no, will you? I have not. I have a beta key that somebody from my stream gave me, and I plan on playing it. It's just I don't have a PlayStation 4, and it's not out on Xbox yet. Question number 9 comes from @iFrazierBoy, who asks, what is the past history of the players on Team OpTic in previous games? Did you play Undergrounds or GBs or what? So Kenny played GBs back in Gears of War 2. I know because I actually teamed with him for a little bit. Same with Mental. He was kind of one of the young kids who was playing GBs in Gears of War 2 and kind of came more into his own in Gears of War 3, and he went to a few LAN events. Explosive played Underground, and so did Summons back in Gears of War 2. And then in Gears of War 3, they started to make more of a name for themselves on GBs and then going to LAN events. And then Lava played Gears of War 3 and was, you know, found himself on GB playing singles. He was a pub star for a while, but he started competing really in Gears of War 3. Question number 10 comes from @Clutch_itcod, who asks, why do you stream from 2 to 5 every day? Why is it that time slot? Basically, I picked this time slot a while ago because my donut shop was open from, well, I had to be at my donut shop from about 5 or 5:30 a.m. to about noon, 12:30-ish, maybe even 1, depending on the days. So that meant I had time to come home, eat something real quick, and get on and stream, and could keep that consistently throughout the summer. And then also, around like 6 or 7 o'clock, I've noticed that a lot of pro teams and pro players are getting home from school or work or whatever, and they get on and they start scrimming or practicing and starting to stream. And that's when my viewership always tanked. So this was kind of the sweet spot. I catch a lot of EU viewers. I catch a lot of people at work who are bored, and it worked with my schedule. And now that I have a lot more free time, I'm going to try to increase that. But for right now, it's like 1 to 5, 2 to 5 are kind of my default times, and I've added on Saturdays as well, as long as there's no tournament with the team. Question number 11 comes from @ChromaticX, who asks, how many push-ups can you do in a minute? I don't know. I don't think I want to know. It's been a while since I've been to the gym, and I'm completely out of shape, so I'm going to take a wild guess and say like 10. Yeah, maybe 10. Question number 12 comes from @TheDonGalaxy, who asks, what was your favorite thing to do when growing up? My favorite thing to do when growing up was probably play video games. I was a big gamer. I played in sports. I played soccer, baseball, basketball, didn't play football at all. But I was always a gamer. I had like my very first game system, like Sega Genesis, original Game Boy, got an N64, got a GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One. So I've always been a gamer. PC. And that's always been my favorite thing to do. Like, even when I was hanging out with friends, like my friends were all other gamers. So like we'd go to each other's houses and like just game. So gaming has been like my passion from when I was a toddler till now. Question number 13 comes from @Gonzalez Emilio 0, who asks, what's your opinion about the snub pistol damage and what weapons are overpowered? I think the snub pistol damage is probably in a perfect spot, and I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with that, but my opinion is the snub pistol shouldn't be your go-to weapon like 90% of the time. It should be the weapon that's kind of like the accent to cleaning up a kill, right? Like if you are in a shotgun fight and you get someone full red and they start to run, the snub pistol should be that gun that you can pull out, fire off half a clip, get them down, and go clean up that kill. Not everybody runs into the battlefield with their pistols out and starts crossing each other because it's stronger than every other gun in the game, like in Gears of War UE. So I think the pistol's at a good spot right now. Weapons that are overpowered. Hammer burst is completely overpowered. It's like a 2 burst or a 3 burst. I mean, it's dumb. It's literally dumb how strong that gun is. The Lancer is really strong right now, especially like at a side, like if you're facing the side of them, like they're running past you kind of thing. I would say those are probably the 2 most overpowered weapons right now. In Gears of War 4, actually, I think in the whole game. Oh, the little SMG Uzi thing is really overpowered as well. That gun is ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to win a point blank fight with that gun. I'm sorry. All right, so now we're gonna head over to the YouTube video from last week. I'll put a link to it in the description in case you missed it. And these are gonna be the questions from the comment section of that video. So the first one I see is from Zednem, who asks, when preparing for the first open LAN tournament on November and looking good on seeding points, first to 12 seeds, how would you approach an organization to get noticed or how to look for the right one? Honestly, like I've told some people that one of the great ways to find orgs is like look at these like amateur COD events and COD LAN events that are going on and see what orgs are sending teams there. Because if you're not like a top 5 team or a top 6 team, you're not going to get the same kind of offers from like big name orgs as you might expect, even though you think you're like better than other teams. It really, you know, what you've done really matters. So if you're like in that like maybe 7th through 12th or 8th through 12th slot, like look at these orgs that are sending COD teams to events and contact them, because those might be good orgs that will at least support you, and you might be able to get like a little deal with them, make a name for yourself under them, become a free agent again when your contract runs out, and then by then maybe some other org has noticed you. All right. I have a few questions from the same YouTube account, which is called Formal's Right Nut. And one of the questions they ask, describe how you feel about the Gears competitive getting a lot of support in one word. Ecstatic. That's probably the one word to describe that. Around how many Gears of War tournaments are there every year, big and small lands? I think there's 8 lands planned for the Gears of War Pro circuit, and then I don't know how many like local lands or smaller lands are supposed to be announced. And then they ask, how much do you know about the players of the OpTic Gaming COD roster, like achievements and status? I know a decent amount about them. Like I know some of their past teams. I know how they ended up on OpTic. I've been watching them since they've been a full 4. I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to, you know, restate every single thing that they've done, but I do know a decent about them because I've been a fan of OpTic for quite a while now. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments down below any questions you might want to ask for next week's #AskAshes video. Make sure you use the hashtag. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment. I already said that, so make sure to share the video and you know, let the world know that I'm here and I'm answering your questions. And also click the subscribe button down below. As always, guys, thank you again so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Go.